An ejector. Oh, is it? I watched Calvish play a little while I was getting ready for stuff. I only have like 2 hours before I gotta do some IRL stuff, and then I was gonna do 2 streams today after I get back. Gotta go to something in a couple hours, but his consensus is that it feels overall a little better. Obviously, the Stars Align burst is like 14-20% worse, but the consistent damage is better. Like, obvious, that's what they're doing. It looked like his DPS was still like 500, 600k a lot of times in shuffle, but he was saying stay the same build. But I'm gonna try new builds just for fun. Probably should have stayed with the original though, just for control, but swap. And I was doing 200k DPS more than Calvo Trickster there. We're doing 700k DPS there. We got a 2.7 to this. That's Trickster. Oh, that didn't feel bad. I don't think we could go double vanish though still with subterfuge. Because you're either too energy starved or not. Yeah, we made 4 different Trickster builds I want to go between. I want to test Cold Blood, even though I don't really like it. Even though lethality is good for the builders. I want to try some iteration of Rotten with lethality. I don't think that'll be that good though. You need more burst. And then I want to try Gorma, but Gorma's terrible. It's still like 1.3 million. I tested it in World PvP. Then I was also going to try just dropping 7. I'm just testing it out. It's just a lot of the modifier nerfs are to Deathstalker. Because Darkest Night got a nerf, and Symbolic got a nerf. Granted, Calv's usually Lingering Darkness anyway, so it's really just Darkest Night getting a nerf. But just seeing what the highest numbers I can get with Trickster are. How much did Shadow Rupture do? 50%. I know in Shuffle this could be like 5. I don't even know what I'm going to spend my conquest on this week. I'm going to be at like 600, and I don't really want to buy a 500 piece. Well, I already bought all the 500 pieces because I crafted rings and neck. And I have world PvP cape, and world PvP bracers. Literally nothing I can buy. Unless I wanted to buy medallion trinket. That's the downside of crafting rings and neck, is you can't, there's no cheap pieces left to get. And next week I want to do PvE crafted legs and helmet. Try gloom blade here. Give off Berserker Rage. Tap trinket, doesn't trinket. Here, so I don't get a resap into cheap shot. Damn, Bloom Blading's still under 500k. I hide all damage numbers, so I can't even see what I'm hitting for until I check details. I only show damage numbers over 500k. Kinda get rid of clutter. Even a rotten Gloomblade was with Macabre was like 500 there. Does seem like Rupture went up like 100k though. Rupture's like 450 now. I'd just be dead. Build, I already can tell it's terrible. Yoink. Alright, now I can do one more. But works on secret tech, yeah. Makes all 3 hits crit because it's a multi-hit move. Anything about Rogue? I've only played like 2 games. And I'm like testing a bunch of different builds. But Calvish was saying just stay the normal build when I watched him play for a couple minutes. That's what his chatbot command said, so. But I'm just testing Trickster out even though I know it's terrible. Just so I could say I tried it. I have my own opinion. Honestly, Trickster didn't feel that bad as the normal build. But yeah, trying to play Rotten and shit feels terrible. But I'm still trying it. You know, just so I can say I tried it. Yeah, changes are live. Peace, my cold blood. I'm gonna play the normal build right now. God, why does it feel like I just guys freedom the entire fucking game? I hate Gimler so much. Chains of Ice to RP walking at this guy. That's the last scheme for Melon anyway, so. Feel bad that just give him all the shit builds and then go play the real builds as soon as I go play with a viewer, but. Wanted to test a few builds out. But yeah, that feels like fucking ass. You really feel the shadow step cooldown reduction on every finisher. Every finisher just gives you 3 seconds of step. And coup de grace doesn't give you mobility anymore. Like, Subrogue already has like some of the worst mobility. Now that you don't have Shadow Strike teleport built into like Sepsis bug or Vanish cooldown reduction. And you're like the only melee without like a root break, and you're playing like one Vanish. I do think this Trickster build didn't feel as bad as the other one, but it's basically just a normal build, that's why. I saw it at 2.7 mil of this as Trickster. guess we can open up some BRTs for a sec. I'm gonna wait on shuffle on this one. Probably no double DPS right now, just because I need to get 2100 or like 23 MMR, but I need the crest in this character too for the PvE crafted gear. Then next week, if I have 2 sparks and I do PvE crafted legs, PvE crafted helmet, and I get the freebie weapons, and I just saved my conquest this week because there's nothing to buy. And I get world PvP belt next week. I actually will be full gear almost. That's crazy. I mean, it won't be like best at slot full epics except for boots are on use trinket or medallion. And then just needing to get 3 item level better gloves, belt, bracer, cape, and legs. Because those will all just be world PvP or PvE craft. Kind of crazy. Not happening to be any of my other characters because I crafted weapons on the other ones, but yeah, probably just only a healer for use. If any healers want a free carry, come sign up. Benji, thank you so much, man. No healers on this early or what? I think the normal build is the best build still. The numbers on like Borma or Rotten or anything like that don't impress me at all. No healers for a free carry? Yeah, it's either the T build or the subterfuge build. You're gonna be more energy starved as subterfuge, but you're gonna be like more dance charge starved as one banish. Because your meld is just less useful. And you're squishier having one vanish, because it's also like a defensive. I think Deathstalker is still better than Trickster, but I've gotten some 2.7 mil of this as Trickster still. Just not as consistent. Probably not the flag and symbolic, but yeah, like the normal Calvish build, which is lingering and deeper daggers. You just move 1 point over. I'm just testing Trickster just to say I tested it. I could tell even in my first couple of, like 3 or 4 games of like testing like 3 different Trickster builds that they're just terrible. For going like Rotten and stuff like that in Gorma. But just playing the normal build as Trickster, not bad. By that I just mean like playing T with like Dark Brew and all that, and Finality. You still want all the modifiers. I don't think it's good to give up Finality or Daunts or Dark Brew. You get both. Deeper Daggers is just to go down the tree. But Shadowcraft is insane, you should always have it. Whatever you can afford. But yeah. You normally run T-build. Probably Twitch, but I don't think the ads work on YouTube where I even like get anything from YouTube ads. How the multi-stream works. Hook there. I hate Blink's done. Double DB ring Snowdrift. Doesn't have Ray of Frost and Veins for this one, so hopefully it doesn't soul me here. Good fear. I'm still cross the seed though forever. Hopefully it doesn't die to instant casts. Kept up 800k DPS. Trickster doesn't feel bad when you're just tunneling cloth, I guess. Yeah, you don't play flag in PvP generally. I've been playing it a lot, but instead of deeper daggers. But I'm not playing it anymore. Yeah, it was me just like trying to gouge flag, set it up. But... I'm probably just gonna save it for next week. I already have rings and necklace. Yeah, bloody token cape. Next week, bloody token belt. And then I'll probably craft boots. Could craft helmet if you're not doing the 2100 craft. But since I get free crafted gear with PV or whatever. If I'm above 2100. And I'm just gonna craft like 3 item level off this, legs, and helmet. And I can just spend my conquest on use and boots instead. Yeah, since I did rings and necklace already, there's nothing really 500 for me to conquest, except for medallion, which isn't worth it. I can buy a socket. The bracers. Gotta strike decides not to teleport me, it just does the animation. Trinket. I jinxed this guy by saying good job staying alive. It feels almost the exact same, to be honest. Your stars aligned to this went down like 500k, and your DPS went up like 100k. Like when you're in like those weird awkward moments where you're just spamming a Vis 7 times in a row, like after your dance is over, like maybe that helps you 20-0 someone a little better, but it doesn't feel that different. Like Rupture is doing like 100k more, Abyss is doing like 500k less. Backstab and Shadow Strike, who cares? And if you try to go Rotten, it's still terrible. Like I don't think you can do a builder focused build. I mean, I didn't test it with full Versa, I guess, but you just have no win con when you do those kind of builds. You just play the exact same build. And you just are a little more consistent about it. Almost no changes. Like backstab would need to be like doubled for you to actually consider going like versatility and trying like Rotten and stuff. And it would need to give you an extra combo point so that you're not dance charge starved if you're not spamming Fan of Knives. Yeah. Europe gets the update tomorrow. NA is always a day ahead beta test for them. Honestly, just play the same builds. Nothing really changed. Maybe on the low end it might be better. Because it's a little more dumbed down where you don't care about the modifiers as much. In a perfect world, you still set it up, but I don't think you go out of your way to like care if Finality doesn't line up with Darkest Night anymore. Thank you, Slight.
Yeah.
That yeah, it was good. In the Linus voice. I should have known with that. spoils me while I'm still feared, even though fear doesn't break on down. Into Shadow Freight. It actually just like quadruples CC'd me. Might be just a little too high MMR for this guy though, because he was 1400 and I was 2200 MMR. It might just be a little sweaty of MMR, but I do want to play a little higher games though, because I need to get this character to 2-1 for the PvE crap. But I also just don't have that long right now. I only have like a 2-hour stream, and then I gotta do some IRL stuff. And then it'll probably be like 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll be back and do a night stream. I gotta do 2 streams today. Better than just being live like 5 hours late, I guess. Yeah, it seems about the same numbers wise. Double dagger. The only reason you did the slow offhand was because it had verse mastery, but craft gear, it's really easy to get verse mastery. And you just get less passive combo points and energy regen if you play a slow offhand. It's like one of the only auto attack procs that's like not normalized. Yeah, feint is insane. It might also be a tooltip glitch though, because it's not meant to be. Most damage reduction things are not additive like that. Usually multiplicative. Maybe it's just too convoluted for feint being like 4 different types of damage reduction between the AoE, normal, and stun, and the evasion damage reduction. I think that MMR is just too high for this guy. I'll help another time, but we're gonna have to lose a lot of games to get to like a playable MMR. I don't know if it's gear or, but I got you like in the next few days. I'll try to remember your name. Put it in my notes. MMR's just a little too high right now, just because my MMR was like 22, so it's like throwing you like 500 above where you're at right now. Whereas if I was like already at 18 MMR and it was like averaging us at like 17, we'd just win in the opener. Bad. I'm down another time though, for sure. I just need to get to 21 on this character for the PV gear. And then it's playing a lot of games above 2-1 too, so I gotta get 120 crests That's like hundreds of games to do in a week. But I mean, not like I don't queue. They even shuffle on this character till next week. It's about the same. I don't think it's like that noticeable. But yeah. No time prowess. I'm trying to just win every single game right now, so probably like any healer above like 16, 1800. Double DPS is not that good. Unless I'm like playing like egg or something, but even then. Trying to be picky, but double DPS is a mood. Blocker? Yeah, we're not doing double DPS right now. Just explaining that to him. We'll do double DPS later in the week, but after I have all the crests for the PV gear grinded out on all the rogues, and then I don't care. But with it being a new season and all, like for hard carrying like 1800 healers, 2-1's kind of high for people. I mean, if I'm playing with like people I know, then it's like really easy to get 2-2, 2-4, but trying to stay above 2-1 with like double DPS with a viewer is pretty hard. It's completely bottom once you go like above 2k right now. Just warrior healer, hunter healer, windwalker healer, rogue healer every game. And double DPS isn't actually like supposed to win. But yeah, if me and Egg like play perfectly, obviously we can get like 23 or something right now, but gonna be struggle bus 60-70% win rate when I could just play with a healer and have like 95% win rate and only like lose to Magnus or something, or a windwalker healer. It doesn't feel that different, to be honest. The sustain damage isn't really that improved, and the burst isn't really that nerfed. I just lost a couple 100k eviscerate for like 100k rupture. I don't think Rotten is good. I don't think Trickster is good. I don't think Gorma is good. You just play literally the same exact build. being 99% slowed by Asta. Have any healer above, you know, 1600 wants a multi-100 boost, go for it. Yeah, I'll do double DPS later in the week. It's just, right now I'm trying to be a little productive. I do have to do hundreds of games this week. For 2 free piece of gear. On an alt that I shouldn't care about. I always think I could drive up that hill, but I just can't. Yeah. I don't know if Trickster feels better. I played a couple games of it and it didn't feel too terrible, but I do think maybe like for noobs Trickster might be better. Just because like then you don't have to pay attention to Finality or Darkest Night. But I do think I still have an easier time closing out the game with Deathstalker. It's like more multi-hit moves. Like, Trickster only feels like it's doing damage when you have like 10 plus stacks of Flawless Form. And that kind of feels like you have a Darkest Night, but it takes way longer to set up. Or just the value of Secret Tech itself critting more often, but... I do think Trickster is easier to play, but... There's also something to be said about just having a way shorter cooldown on Shadow Step from this. It's tied into Better Blizz frames. All the UI stuff's on the Discord. Ooh. Got a transplant randomly. I have the yellow ones. They're not just like a yellow shirt that actually does the sleeves. Oh, it's because of the chest piece, actually, that's why. Every 2 weeks you get more. So on week 5 you'll be able to do 4 set. But honestly, Sub Rogue you're not going to wear 4 set anyway, it's terrible. I like it the season? I don't know about it. Still the same kind of. I like that I could use Gouge a lot better now. But yeah, it's still kind of the same micro CC stuff. A good stream. All right, I'll peep it now. trinkets to get his trap. Not gonna blades. We already got Ross. Dying through evasion. Defense. Paints up and crit immune. Face combat, so I don't get a sap. I got both paints ups already though. Can't gouge even though I'm in front of him. Can't kidney on top of him because he's laggy. Just dead here with the DM hunter. Very skill spec. He ulties and just lets me line it. Another paints up. How you doing, Shark? Actually, just always does Ross. I'm gonna do this go without blades, just to, 0.1 micros me. Nice, we got crit immune without using blades. The evasion non-beast wrath sucks, but yeah, he popped it into my evasion for no reason, so they're waiting. One trinket, get the turtle off. Landing. Banish the crows. That doesn't stay in the dome. I'm still dead to penance. Try to slow healer, but just opt the fear. Don't proc a crippling to save my life. We had a big mana lead. I actually outdamaged the BM Hunter. That's kind of crazy. The DPS is up like 100k. Mostly because Rupture does like 100k more. This is down like over 500k, I feel like. But it feels about the same, to be honest. I don't think Mild would save me there, but I'm not playing Subterfuge. But yeah, maybe I could have Mild cheap shot, but if it didn't bug out, I would daughter the pets. It feels like 90% the same. Like if they like ninja hotfix this in without telling me, I wouldn't notice it that much. But like anything I am noticing is kind of just placebo of like over analyzing the numbers before and after. Even though the numbers are just so different on every class. Some classes are allowed to take damage and others aren't. Like you're never gonna get good numbers hitting like a Ret Pally or like a Fury Warrior. Or a Hunter. But then you hit like a DH or a Rogue or, you know, a Monk and they explode and then you actually feel the difference. Because like leather takes a lot of damage. I wanted to sap that, but I got charge rooted. Might sap the melt. Still out of combat. I was just disarmed forever. Tried to bomb that, but longest global of my life. Pain subs himself, dude. Double pain subs both of them. Baited on the fear. Maybe you triggered the spells for me. I still need to fix Omni CD to show whether my healer is trinket or not. It's annoying that I never know. Yeah, leather is like the only armor type that takes damage. Has been for multiple expansions now. All of leather randomly gets like 50 OD by everything. DH, Rogue, Windwalker. I guess not Feral, but that's because Feral is just permanently in bear, basically plate. Please break this. It's my blades. You want to break it? Come on. Hope he has a pulse. Slow. We slowed him. Might sap meld again. Sub changes? Hardly noticeable, to be honest. Burst is way down though. But the DPS is up like 100k. I wanted to kick that, but I kicked way after too. paints up. Cloak the fear, even though I was storm bolted. I mean, we beat the 60% damp power spike. Not bad. They nerfed almost every single modifier in half. So even if you count the Vis buff, the stars aligned to Vis is down 14 to 22%. Finality is half. Macabre is half. Secret Tech breaks even with Macabre nerf. The backstab is still under 200k. Backstab buff did literally nothing. Shadow Strike, still same. Pretty much unbuffed. They're not really, but Rupture went up 50 to 100k. Yeah, this is way down. I mean, we still got a 2.3 mil without Symbolic or Flag. So that's even pretty similar. Honestly, if you pranked me and said that the changes weren't even in, I'd believe it. But yeah, when I have Rupture on like more targets and pets in 3s, then I am doing like 100k more DPS because of Rupture. That's the only way I know it's in, is I can watch Calv do like an extra 100k DPS, so just all Rupture pad than what we normally do. But yeah, if this doesn't, yeah. If you're not playing Symbolic, it's not as over nerfed, but I tried Trickster too, but Gorma build felt really bad. Rotten build felt really bad. But if you play Trickster with just the normal build, I still had like a 2.7 mil Trickster of this. I don't know, even if you went heavy Versa and then you have the extra 50% here, and you're rotten, it still does no damage. And then I think Swift Death is better than Replicating. I'll try the one-shot build. And just see what the numbers look like. Thing is, just doing finishers with Deathstalker stacks itself is more than Unseen Blade. And it's just an extra multi-hit move on your Abyss with the Shadow Abyss. Trickster's only good when you have like 10 stacks of Flawless Form, or you're just AoE padding Nimble on pets for fake damage. But you also feel the Shadow Step cooldown reduction on Deathstalker a lot too. Blade Storm's out of my kidney shot. Love to see it. Warriors need an extra trinket. Got almost every defensive in the opener still. Swap. Tried to cloak the sphere. One shot and no pen. Step kick penance in a sec. Nice MC. I don't know, I think the one shot build is still playable actually. Even with 8% symbolic. You said defensives every go that game, but at least for twos, but it was already the move to play without double vanish. This whole expansion has been no subterfuge. Only an asset outlaw get to have subterfuge. Otherwise you're energy starved as sub. Because sub is more forced into supercharger than the other two specs. And the rework was a failure. Because you don't do any, if you try to go with the old school Dragonflight build and drop supercharger, you just do no damage. Well, that was way lower, actually. I mean, you still died. I've used them in a lot of mugs, I just don't overuse them that much. I wear it with a lot of the different Kata Elite sets a lot of times. We're at a 3.1 still. Yeah, I think the one-shot build is pretty much the same, just like 500k less. I think I just would wear it with like Season 9 Elite gear or something. Your plans for this week? I'm probably just gonna hold on to my conquest points and do bloody token cape. Then next week, if we get the crests from 2100, and we craft helmet and legs, when we get 2 sparks, if we have 120 2100 crests, then we will do boots or on use trinket next week. Probably on use trinket just because I want to get rid of this haste for crit. Even though sustained DPS is usually better than use trinket. Sub changes the buff? No. Maybe at like the low end. At like the me Calvish end, it's pretty much the same exact thing. Not really a buff for it. At the low end, it's a little more dumbed down. If you don't properly play around Finality and Darkest Night, if you don't line up every modifier, you're losing a little less damage for it. But at the top end, it's like a 500k Vis nerf for like a 100k Rupture buff. But you're doing like 100k more DPS, keeping Rupture on everything. But it's practically no changes. I just triggered a gouge, man. IBFM paints up overlap. I haven't played enough games with this yet to tell. I think, but base combat. I figured swap anyway. Get secret tech off for the AMS. Blinding aggro's a little scary here. I wanted to blind the DK on the wombo combos. IBF's aggro. I have one shot and he has no wall. I should need to move my character ever. Crazy, he lives that. Okay, just trinkets disarm. And we're dead actually, I think. Sketchy though. Whenever fake is fading. %40 paint for this. We win next on DR if we live, but it's a big if. Apparently flag gets immune by AMS. It still lets me generate stacks though, so that's good. Didn't know, I just desperation needed to not like wait too many globals. Look at this, you might just die. Over 1,300 days, like over 30,000 hours since vanilla. Yeah, the guy trinkets aggro, icebounds aggro on CD, and I still can't punish him. As a non-orc with like no trinket. He's like a Maghar orc instead of a normal orc. I think it just does more damage. I only enjoy sub rogue. No other spec in the game is fun. Every other spec just feels like you're just playing defensive and reacting. And just, you know, PvEing. Sub rogue, you're actually playing to win and doing like pre-CC and cross-CC and doing stuff. I'll try, it just depends on what I'm doing, but. You know, normally I do commentate almost every round. I don't know what you're listening to. Right, get our stacks started. We're gonna do one of this, one secret, so that we can line up finality with Darkest Night. Trinket that. Swap this guy with all of our procs, re-symbol for the big abyss crit. Rupture. Kill Fiend. Or that can happen too. They're like actually healing the Fiend through my damage. Good to know. Gonna gouge the rest of this guy's stun DR as soon as he leaves bear. He left bear. I fainted this. Actually, the feint didn't go off. I didn't have feint. Still gonna gouge him for pre-CC. Now we have time to go CC the priest. Now we stun him without bear because he was still gouged. Bomb the life swap, even though he got the half fear. He's gonna live now because I spent a global bombing, so he gets the swap off. No dance for 20, just go dot both of them. Gonna quote this. Try to gouge this guy out of bear again, or just gouge the other guy for fear. I'll just gouge for fear. He leaves bear anyway, we're chilling. Double DPS not being viable as usual. Was that Void Fiend? For some reason it looked like a Siphene to me. That makes way more sense. Why were they spam healing at them? I just got drunk with power because if I kill it, I get an extra Abyss crit. If it dies with Deathstalker markup. No, it says Siphoned. It's just weird that it says Void Wraith here, but... Oh, I guess they're just stacked on top of each other, yeah, with the nameplates. I don't know. The Siphon tooltip did go down a little bit. Yeah, 40% faint is insanely OP. I've never seen that, where they like intentionally make the Void Wraith be like inside of the Siphon to make it harder to click on the Siphon. Smart. And they still lose just because double DPS isn't viable. Verdict on changes? Almost nothing changed. You could even still play one-shot build if you wanted. Rupture is basically letting you do 100k more damage. You lost like 500k of this damage. I wouldn't try to play Trickster or Rotten or anything. All the other builds feel terrible. Play the same build. Almost nothing changed. Maybe on like the super low end it'll feel better though. Because then if you fuck up like all the modifiers and you never play around Finality or Darkest Night right, they you get punished less now. But I'm still gonna do the rotation correctly, obviously. Yeah, it's just dumbing down, but you lose maybe like 500k of this damage for like 100k rupture damage. If this is still your top damage, you're still getting multi-million Abyss rates. Gameplay is 99% the same. Build is the same. The other builds still feel terrible. Backstab is still like 200k, you know. Even with the stars aligned Versa, Trickster, Rotten build, like I still only got like a 500k stars aligned Rotten Gloomblade out of like, you know, 11 to 13 million. So, like, just play the build that actually can let you close out the game with burst. Wanted to cheap shot Tally there. My dance ended like right as I stepped. Bubble right on hands. I should have just saved my erasure, but... Pop. That probably is a joke. It's been in my LOS like 2 globals this entire game. Permanent fucking sacred weapon and sack. Gonna sap from there without combat, but love warriors being able to tremor totem their teammates. They really need that in the video game. He's spirit link, so he's fine. Might actually win right here though. Yeah, that felt exactly the same as yesterday. Like, if you told me the changes weren't in, I would believe it. I mean, actually, my Abyss is pretty dog shit that game for playing flag and symbolic. But I guess he's also just permanent defensive the whole game. Yeah, changes are in. Europe is tomorrow, NA was today. Tuesday. Probably 1 or 2 more games though, and then I gotta do some IRL stuff for a couple hours. And then I just do 2 streams today. I think this is one of the auction house enchants. It's not even rare. I like my wireless headphones, yeah. It's like Light of the Earth Warder. Get on the auction house. Backstab is the exact same. Shadow Strike, exact same. They are unbuffable. Rupture. Normally it's been in the 400s. This is a low game, I guess. Warriors just don't take damage, I guess. Changes are hardly noticeable at all. But maybe at the low end it's different. Like if you play around all the modifiers, right? Not sure. If this is down a little bit, Backstab and Rupture are the same. Or Backstab and Shadow Strike are pretty much the same. Who would have thought? Rupture, you can feel like 100k more. You're like overall doing 100k more DPS and you lost a couple 100k of this damage. But yeah, it's about the exact same. I'm probably not spending my conquest this week. Because I already have all the 500 pieces of World PvP Cape. Yeah, it's probably last game. And then I gotta do some IRL stuff for a couple hours and then I'll be back. Probably like around 5 or 6. So 3 or 4 hours and then I'll be back. Do a second stream. Now, Catalyst is every 2 weeks. You'll have 4-piece on week 5, but I'm not gonna go 4-piece on sub anyway, so it doesn't matter. Can't stop that. That's annoying. Downsides of no subterfuge. I'm burning all my mobility to try to move my character. Faded fear. He's good. I cloaked it. Keep this guy slowed. I'm gonna lose my stacks if I don't make it over there. Kept them barely. He pre-Ross's there. A bit. Got the fear still. By the time I get there, Roar of Sacrifice will be over. God, even with the 20% little sprint buff on Dance, I still can't get there. I'm not playing the Vanish Shield. Come on without CC, fuck it. Swap. Got Ross, good. Knocked me only 2 feet into the wall. Not in my line to step kick that apparently, because the ramp. Hunter, even though it does nothing. Forgot the respec. Rupture should kill. Doesn't. Alright, I gotta take a break and do some IRL stuff. See you guys in a couple hours. Honestly, I could barely feel them at all. Maybe overall, Rupture went up like 50 to 100k. If this went down a couple 100k. The one-shot build definitely is like a million weaker. Lingering is definitely better. But yeah, for the most part, Trickster doesn't feel good. But I'll try more Trickster. Just, I'm not going to try any Gormaw builds anymore. Or any Rotten builds. I think you need Dark Brew and you need Finality and you need Daunts. But Trickster only feels good when you have 10 stack Flawless Form or more. Like 8 to 10 stacks. But yeah, I'll be back in a couple hours. I gotta do some IRL stuff. Yeah, for the most part, play the same builds. Almost nothing changed. Maybe on like the lowest end, if you're not playing around the rotation right, you are punished less for doing the rotation wrong. Like there's less stakes on the modifiers, but you should still do them.